Yeah, it was just pretty hectic, but really exciting, for our players especially, and to see that many fans come out, and as well as our student body. And it was just a great atmosphere Saturday. To win a Big Ten championship, just it's special, and you have to have a team that believes they can do it. And we talked about it all year, and especially in the preseason, and they never wavered. So. They get a lot of credit in my coaching staff, and so it's those things are now behind us, and it's time to move on. We got Big Ten tournament in Indy this week, and should be really exciting.
When you look at Burton winning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, it's the third one that's been here in 5 years, with Ashley Deary winning the two before. What do you think it says about your defense as a whole? You guys have had that point guard at the top of it win it 3 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, Ashley Deary was a great defensive player. Changed so many games, and I think Veronica, they're different. They're different players, but Ashley broke all the steals records, and I think she was even in the NCAA for a while. I can't remember the final tally, but she was a gambler. And I think Veronica is a different player in that she's a little more conservative, but she anticipates everything that's going on. And that's what separates her. Like, she is, it's like in her mind, she knows what the other team is doing, and she just, reacts to it before they can.
The fact that those two are so different, like you said, and they both led these great defenses in their time here, what does that say about the way your defenses work together as a team?
Yeah, this group, I don't know where we are. I'm not as big statistically as we mentioned all year. I'm just more concerned about winning. But I think defensively we've been pretty good. Kept people mostly in the 50s. We had a couple games to get out of there, and it gives you best chance to win. These guys, they play off each other defensively, and they communicate, which is. Which first day of practice, every coach in America is trying to get their team to communicate on defense in college basketball. I think this group buys in, and I think having some of the same players back, we haven't had, and we only have 2 freshmen, so we got right into stuff early this year in October, so that was good.
I mean, look at that Coach of the Year award. What does that mean to you to get that?
Well, those things really are a byproduct of your team having a great year, and you always appreciate being in this league now 12 years, and the coaches that are your colleagues here, and for them to vote for you, that means a lot. Also, it's special, and just appreciate the coaches in our league.
And then looking forward to Friday, I asked the players already, but you got a matchup with a team that pushed you here, or a team that you already beat in 2 close ones. How much tougher does it make those potentially having to beat a team 3 times like Michigan, or a team like Nebraska that came into your place and gave you guys one of the toughest games?
I'll tell you, we got our hands full, but the league this year has been like that. It's been a great league. We're probably going to have 7, 8 teams in the NCAA tournament from the Big Ten. So anybody you play on Friday is going to be good. Michigan, we had 2 great games with. Nebraska, we came from behind to win here. So really, just focused on us more than anything else, because I can't control who we're going to play. But either one's going to be tough.
In the past 3 days, when did your mind kind of turn from celebrating the Big Ten regular season title to looking forward toward the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, as soon as those streamers came down, when they hit me in the head, I'm like, all right, look, we got to go back to work here pretty quick. But, I think our players are good. And you have to embrace that. You got to have fun with it, and they did. And, because of having the bye really helped us. So, today's the first day we're really getting back into practice. Some of them, came in, shot, and did some basketball things, but it's given us a little time to, heal a little bit and, get right into basketball today.
Your players kind of told me that Maryland game was a really defining moment in the year. Do you think anything changed about the team in terms of belief or in terms of mindset after that game?
It's a good question. This is a confident group. They're not. When I say confident, people sometimes, you could replace it with cocky, but they're not. They're really just confident in each other and as a team. And I think that game helped us certainly. And, a couple other games in the Big Ten in January, we got some momentum. And then it really, carried over into February. But, I think their confidence hasn't wavered all year. And so hopefully that's what you want in the postseason.
Coach, you had a huge game from Abbey Wolf this weekend. How does having her and her unique skill set help open up this offense?
Yeah, Wolf's been great all year. She's probably, hasn't gotten a lot of attention at times, which, when you have a Lindsay Pulliam or, Veronica Burton, Abby Scheid, but she has changed games, and then has bailed us out of a lot of games too. She can score on the blocks. She's 6'4", 6'5", can defend. The best post players in the Big Ten, and so we're going to need her. We're going to need her this week, next week, every week that she has left eligible. So, but really proud of her.
And then on top of that, how have you seen her with kind of a larger role this year, kind of elevate from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, I think sometimes she does it quietly, but she's been really consistent, in practice every day with her teammates, and as a senior saying, look, I want to go out of here winning a championship and going to the NCAA tournament, and so I think players have fed off of that, the way she's made that, and the way she's carried herself.
Can you describe just how difficult it was to get the program to this point over the years?
I didn't know, and I was a pretty experienced coach when I took the job. I'd been a head coach for, 20-some years. And when I came here in 2008, I was coming off back-to-back Sweet 16s and top 10 teams. And I just remember, my first year, it's like, man, it's going to take a minute. And but I had great kids, and when you have an Amy Jeske and a Beth Marshall, players like that, they competed. They bought into what I was doing, and then as we got better the next couple of years, you really you don't spend a lot of time dwelling on it. I'd moved my family here from D.C. We'd been same school for 19 years and had great teams. So we were used to winning. I can tell you that first year took a lot out of me because I'd never had a losing season before as a head coach. And it kind of inspired you to say, we're not going to do this again either. But I just felt like we were growing with Northwestern. I came in with Jim Phillips, and then Morty came in as our president. And it was just a good time to be here in the early years. People started. We had great women's sports that were winning. Fitz, was going to bowl games, and it was kind of, you could just feel a buzz about Northwestern athletics. And then the last couple of years, we've had some great teams. To see what Chris has done, with their monumental run to the NCAA tournament, to be here through that, to see our lacrosse win national championships, and so you just keep moving forward. It's like next play, next game. But we've had our challenges, and it's good to be sitting here with a Big Ten championship.
Obviously, there were family considerations when you made the move. But strictly from a basketball standpoint, were you wondering at that time, like, what did I get myself into, or can I make this work, or?
We never doubted, like we saw, and I think Jim helped me a lot because he's like, Joe, we're coming in together through this, and he had come. The one thing that impressed me about Jim Phillips was, and when I looked at this job, he had been at schools where women's basketball was really successful. He had been at Tennessee. He had been at Notre Dame. So, he understood what it takes. And I think that helped me, through some of the challenging times.
And what was the game changer for you? Were the facilities the game changer? The last couple of years, the renovations.
Yeah, it's been tough. Like it's been for Chris and I both. We were I know they played at Allstate. We played at Evanston High School. We've been in a house on campus for 2.5 years. Practice all over the place. So, it's been not as easy or smooth as you would like it to be. But now that we're here, I feel like, it's so different. To play here, to walk, to have our players love it. They walk through a tunnel and they're in a practice gym, which has everything that you can think of. So their days are a lot more coherent than they were, the last couple of years where we're, practicing 2-3 different places in a week, and so it feels good. It's just been it's worth it. It's been worth it to play here now. It was so loud on Saturday. It just feels good for our players. It was fun.
Joe, what are the unique challenges of potentially playing 3 games in 3 days, and how does that differ with the preparation you normally have going into a week where you may play 2 games, 1 game in a whole week?
Yeah, it's getting in conference tournaments, and I remember a couple of years ago we played 4 games in 4 days and got to the semifinals, and you just kept going. You just kind of, since you played everybody already, maybe you cut down some of your scouting reports and really focus on your own team, and I feel like that's what we'll do. But to play 3 games in 3 days, if I'm a player, it's great. If players want to play, coaches want to practice. We're trying to prepare them as best we can but also it's about really to focus on us. And we said all along this with our team, it's not who we play, but how we play. And it sounds a little cliche, but we talk about that a lot. It's just more about us and how we play. And you can't control certain things. And but whoever we play, if we're fortunate enough to play 3 in a row, they'll all be pretty good.